What is up, the world of YouTube? I'm a little upset, and why I'm upset is because, well, really, it's just kind of how I am. If it's not perfect, I'll find something to be upset about. When it comes to my training, I'm not like this with everything, all right? Trust me. Um, but I'm upset because, and this is the decision that I made, and I didn't necessarily have to, so I'm kind of, doing it to myself, really. But I think it's the right decision, and it's because I really would like to have done chest supported dumbbell rows just like I did Sunday, but I don't think I'm quite ready for a repeat session of that, if that makes sense. My lower back just still, man, I guess I'm getting older. I'm not 18 anymore. What used to be something I'd probably recover from in 3 or 4 days is taking, I mean, we're approaching 3 weeks now. It's getting better. It's just a slower, much slower process than I thought. So the chest supported rows, you know, you can make the argument I could have done them and probably been all right if I was very mindful. But I just don't want to take the risk. I don't want to take one step forward and two steps back. That old cliche. So I'm going to do chest supported machine rows. I've said before, it's not my favorite machine in the world. But considering my circumstances, beggars can't be choosers. And, I just need to be grateful I can even do certain lifts, and there's enough machines in here for me to still get pretty good workouts. Really, I haven't really had to change much because, and I haven't even really noticed this, but I've been doing a lot more machines than I thought, I guess. But um, so yeah, we're gonna get right into it. 5 plates per side, around 10-ish reps. I'm going to assume, give or take, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But um, the first set might be rough. It usually is, especially on this machine, and it's probably because I'm being a little cautious, which isn't a bad thing considering my circumstances. So, but we'll see. Around 10 reps, I'm thinking. I either had this too tight or just not in the normal spot I would have it, because that put a lot of pressure right there on my wrist. That bone, that did not feel good. I mean, the reps in the set were fine, but it kind of took my focus away. It started hurting so bad. I'm going to try to make sure I don't do that again. Other than that, not bad. Obviously, the last 2 or 3 or whatever were, I was starting to cheat pretty good. But you guys know me. I am totally fine with that as long as the first, you know, X amount, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is, are pretty clean. Um, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, that still kind of hurts. Maybe I'm just being a pussy. I need to toughen up here. I mean, obviously, I don't want to do that again, but All right, two more, man. Two more of that weight. You guys know the drill. Followed by a couple back down sets, and then we'll keep it moving. All right. On the plus side, that didn't hurt my wrist. Um, and really, I guess another plus side is my back's starting to burn a little, so we're on the right path here. Let's do one more with that weight. I did notice on the first set, I I was cheating a little more than I would like before I get to those final reps, and then I'm kind of more accepting of cheating at that point. I tried to be a little tighter and more under control, but I think I don't know, man. What do you guys think? I think back might be one of the top contenders for the body part that might be the easiest and maybe most acceptable or most, let's just say it's the easiest, one of the easiest body parts that you can cheat and kind of reason around um, why it's more, I guess I will say acceptable. Because I mean, if you're trying to cheat on legs, any kind of squat or leg press, you can't. That weight's not going to go back up. Bench press, you can kind of, if you raise your ass off the bench, but a lot of people will call you out on that. Um, Maybe arms are up there too with back and shoulders. But if you see a guy rowing and he's kind of swinging back with it, like I do, admittedly, I try to keep it on the final reps. Um, it's a little more acceptable. You won't find as many people, call someone out or, you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, let's do one more, and then I'll lighten the weight. Ah, oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. I hate to lower the weight as soon as it starts to get interesting or more fun. But that was the third set, so I'm gonna go down. I'll probably just go down to 4 plates. I'm not gonna take much off. I think if I take a 45 off each side, I can, I got only got 2 more sets, so I can get 12 or more on each of them, and that's kind of like a line. I don't want to go under 12. So let's go down to 4 plates. All right, one more. All right, let me retighten these straps just a little. Got a little loose there. Oh no, another casualty. Man, well, I'll worry about that here in a minute. Let's do a drop set. Well, that wasn't easy. But you know what? Most things worth doing are not going to be easy, especially if you're trying to get to a level that less than 1% of people get to. Hell, I could even make the argument, not even that, if you're just trying to be a better version of yourself, it's not easy, man, in any aspect, physically, mentally, emotionally. And usually when you go on a journey like this in the gym of trying to improve your physique, you will find, especially the deeper you get into it, it is more of a mental battle than anything. So, you might see it physically. It might be a literal physical transformation, but if you don't get over those mental hurdles, which there will be many, and it seems like they're never ending. If you don't get over those, the physical transformation will never happen ever. So, like I said, it wasn't easy, but if you wanna improve, it's not going to be. So you might as well just accept that fact straight up. But let's do some arms. Let's do some arms. Well, let me be specific here. Let's do biceps. Triceps will be Friday. I highly considered doing free weight preacher curls, but just like with I did dumbbell rows, chest supported rows Sunday, but I felt doing them Sunday and then only one day rest and trying to do them again today was it worth it? And kind of that same mindset is what I have with. Again, I could do them probably, but am I willing to put myself, set myself back potentially even longer to getting fully right, or at least back to where I was, to get 3 sets of free weight preacher curls? Because there's a lot more. I have to load, unload the bar. It's just a little more risky. I wouldn't even say a lot more, just a little more. And why do that when I can get pretty much the same outcome um, doing 3 sets here? You know what I mean? If you can't tell, I'm still thinking about it. I really want to do it. It's got me hesitant, but I think the right decision is to do this. Take that risk away. Maybe next week I can do them. I'd really like to because just, they're basically the same, but just it's more of a lot of it's a mental thing. Mentally, just to be able to go from this and then go do free weight one week, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then come back to this for. It's just nice, a nice change. This will be the third week in a row that I've done the machine. You know what I mean? It's like I had that itch to do something else, but the risk and the reward, weighing them both, it's just not worth it. You know. So yeah, I'm gonna do these unilateral, so that being one arm at a time. Uh, I get a little more out of it because this machine doesn't really go heavy enough to do both. At least the first couple sets, I'm usually doing 15 reps or so, and I don't want to do quite that many. So one arm at a time here. 90 pounds. I might add 5 or 10 pounds depending on how this one goes. That's a big maybe, but the option is definitely there. We'll see how this one goes. That was definitely challenging, which is the whole point. But I did 12. I think I might go up to 95 on the next one, but let me do the other one first and make sure. You know what? I'm only doing 2 more single arm like this, and then I might do a 4th set where I go do both arms at the same time, because it'll be more challenging at that point, so the weight will feel heavier than what it is. Let's go to 95, 95, not 100, and then probably around 10 here. But I think going up 5 pounds is definitely manageable and a pretty good decision. So we'll see though. That's exactly what I was looking for. One more like that. Whew. Talk about a good set, man. Ooh, that set was more of a mental hurdle more than anything. That was tough. All right, let me do a little back down set. I'll rest a minute or a little longer. Um, it's a back down set, but I'm actually gonna increase the weight because I'm gonna go into both arms for this final one. Just kind of throw my arms off a little bit, and then we'll move on to back. All right, that is all I need for a week. That's all the volume I need for 1 week for biceps. I know it's crazy, but 4 sets, that's it. I'd like to do something other than lat pull downs to finish back, but with my lower back how it is, I'm kind of limited in what else I can do. I'll try to think of something, but might be it might just be lat pull downs again. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll try to think of something. I don't know though. All right, if you couldn't tell by now, I couldn't come up with nothing. Again, worth the risk compared to the reward. I can get what I need to out of lat pull downs here. It's just more, like I said, it's kind of a mental thing. I kind of want to do something else today, but is it worth it to potentially set myself back? I know I keep saying that, but I got to keep reminding myself of that. And it's just not worth it yet until I feel like I'm back to myself. So Sunday when I did these, I didn't use the Versa grips. Forced myself to go a little lighter because my grip would be a little more suspect. Um, but it made me focus a little more too. But in saying that, still the goal is to focus the same way. But I'm gonna throw these on obviously and be able to go a little heavier. So um, put that on 18. I think that's a good number to start. If I need to go up and down, up or down a little bit, I will. But yeah, 3 sets here with a drop set, and that'll probably be it, unless something. I mean, I will say this has been a good workout. Like this is the best my lower back has felt since injury. Again, it's still not. I still feel it when I try to twist or turn a certain way, and I get a little careless because I forget because it is feeling better, but still not there. So, you know, but the point I was trying to make is this is the best it's felt. So maybe I will throw something in after this, but I highly doubt it. I just hit back Sunday again, so I don't know. I doubt it. But anyways, all right. Here's a question. I only got 2 more. That's not a question. Here's here's a real question. Can I go up just go 1 notch heavier, knowing I only have 2 more, and still keep me in the not going less than 12? I did 13 there. That's pushing it. I'm gonna say no, even though I'm very tempted. I'm close though, but I think I'll just stay at 18. Do 2 more. Do a little back or drop set. I think that's the right choice here. But I am close. Just not quite ready to bump that up a little more. Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's it. Time to check the pump. All right, I watched that last set. On the drop set, could I have done maybe one or two more? And if I really, really cheated, maybe even a little more than that, probably. But what I always say, I don't want to do too much in terms of doing so much volume and not getting the benefits. So pretty much junk volume. I feel like when I stopped where I stopped, I got what I needed out of that set. Called it a good day, you know. So, but I feel pretty good. I feel like I got a pretty good pump. Yeah, let's check it out. Okay, I am very, very happy with this workout. I always feel it in my lower back the most when I get done posing. It's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do feel it through the workout. Like I said, if I kind of get a little careless and I almost forget because it is feeling better and it feels the best when I'm sitting. And a lot of the stuff that I do in here, I'm sitting. So, but it's like when I flex my core, and I'm hitting all these poses, and especially like when I go 10 minutes longer, which I've been doing a lot lately, it just, I don't know, man, it's like this pressure in my lower back. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, man, a good day. Good back and bicep day. I didn't go crazy with the volume, which I haven't been because of what I just said, trying to be somewhat smart. And that's part of, that's part of the journey, dude. When you're training, there's going to be times where you got to dial it back. And even the hardest time to do that is whenever you're super motivated and you really are in it. You're loving everything about your training and your the whole process. And then, bam, something happens, you get hurt or whatever it might be. And then you gotta pull it back, even though mentally, you're there, man. You're super fired up, and because it comes in waves. Um, that's the worst when you're super motivated and then something happens and you got to pull it back. Um, but that's part of it, dude. That is part of it, you know. And the longer you do it, the more you're going to have to compromise with things like that and be willing to pull back. I know that's a lot of people. There's definitely two different ends of the spectrum here. There's a people, when you're in that phase, you're super motivated. You can't keep yourself out of the gym. And then there's a time where all your motivation is gone and you're having trouble even fucking dragging yourself to the gym and even getting a decent workout. Um, and I'm closer to this end where I'm really motivated right now, but with this injury, it's a little dicey. I got to be careful. So, but it's getting better. I'm on the right track. So that's all that matters right now. All right, man. Tomorrow, leg day. So I better put on my big boy pants and be fucking ready for that. So see you guys tomorrow.